Right. So, welcome everyone to this Wednesday somatics and yoga practice. I'm thrilled to be here with you today. We'll start without our mats rolled out. So have your mat off to the side. You can see mine right over here. You might also want to use 2 blocks. So have those handy as well. And we'll start in a seated position. Make your way somewhere on the floor. I'm sitting. And from this sitting position, any sitting position, just rest your hands where they naturally fall. Either soften your gaze or close your eyes. And just feel the movement of your breath through your body. You might become aware of the feeling of the air on your skin, clothing as it touches your skin. Just taking a moment to arrive here in this moment. And for inspiration today, I have a quote by Joseph Campbell. And the quote goes something like this: "Follow your bliss, and doors will open where there were no doors before." And that's follow your bliss, and doors will open where there were no doors before. So perhaps contemplate how our movement practice today could be an exploration of a feeling of bliss, and how following that bliss in a movement form might open up new possibilities, new doors where there are never doors before. Just holding that lightly and perhaps allowing that to be a little nugget of inspiration for your practice. If your eyes have been closed, I invite you to open them and then lie down on your back. On your back, spread your arms out to your sides and lift your shins up. Lift your legs up and bring your shins up until they're parallel to the floor. We'll just start by rocking your legs from side to side. A little dynamic twist. Taking it at the pace that feels best to you. Just rocking from side to side. Breathing. And the next time you come down to your right side, actually going to come up into a seated position. So right leg forward, left leg back, and you'll just come up and twist around to your right. And then twist toward the back leg, toward your left. Again, twist to your right and slide down and bring your legs up again and begin the rocking from side to side. The next time you're on the left side, left leg forward, right leg tucked back and come up to a seated position. Twist to your left. And then twist to your right over the back leg briefly. Again, twist to your left and slide down, lift your legs up. And one more time each side like that, just rocking your legs from side to side. And then bring your legs to your right, right leg forward, left leg tucked back, twist to your right over the front leg, and then twist over the back leg. Twist again over the right leg and slide down, lift legs up and rock from side to side. And then come up on your left. Twist to your left. And then twist to your right. Again, twist to your left and slide down, bring your legs up. And rock your legs from side to side a few times. And then bring your legs to the center, thighs close to your belly, and wrap your arms around your shins, tucking yourself into a little ball. Now from here, we initiated some movement inspiration in what I just led you through. Your main aim here is to get up to a standing position, and you can do that in any way you would like. You can do some twisting, you can do some sliding around on the floor, or you can simply get up. Right? So it's just exploring movement possibilities through your body. Be spending some time lying down, spending a little bit of time sitting up, and then eventually coming up to a standing position. And the main point of this exploration is to allow your body to dictate how you move, feeling your relationship to gravity, feeling the contact of the floor, and thinking of yourself kind of partnering with the surfaces through some movement. And then from a standing position, once you're there, taking your time, stand tall. Allow yourself to simply feel the difference between lying down, even sitting and standing. Standing in this spot, just observing, scanning your body. What are you feeling in this moment? Good. And then kind of like what we were doing on the floor, rocking the legs from side to side, we'll start a little bit of a movement inspiration by walking, placing weight on one foot and then the other, just rocking from side to side. And then the next time you shift to one foot, allow your torso to kind of follow and twist toward that leg. You can let your arms swing up and around your torso, however feels best. Just moving from side to side, allowing the arms to drape and wrap around you as you allow your torso to do a light twist from side to side. And then with this impulse of shifting your weight from leg to leg and twisting, allow it to open up into more movement expression, thinking of transferring your weight from foot to foot, but maybe moving your feet forward and back. And allowing your body to simply follow in kind of like waves. Moving forward, back, side, diagonally. What does it feel like to shift your weight from foot to foot? Just allow your torso and your arms to softly wave along with it. And allow this to wake up more areas in your body. This is subtle opening, moving, expressing waves, like an echo of what your legs are doing, feeling it carry from your legs, the impulse of your legs up through your body. Maybe turning around, Moving forward, back, side, diagonally. Okay. Then coming back to center. Now, coming to a more organized orientation of shifting weight from foot to foot, and do just like a little march, a little bit faster from foot to foot. And from here, maybe bring it into a jog. So a little bit of a bounce. And this jog should be something that you could do for a really long time. Something that's really easy to generate. And then you might take the jog forward and back. Side. Diagonally. Just like you were doing in the last movement, inspiration. Moving forward, backside, maybe around yourself. What does it feel like to bring into something that's more like a jog? Right. And now, in order to speed up a little bit, think of letting go of muscular gripping. So if you let go, we'll speed up for about 10 seconds. So for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come back to really easy pace, just a light jog. And we'll do the same thing and speed up one more time. So just letting go of muscular gripping in order to speed up a little bit for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come back to really easy pace. Now keeping this, integrating perhaps the two movement impulses of shifting and waving and the jog, I invite you to move your feet around the space, maybe at a kind of bouncy jog pace, but allowing your body and torso to kind of wave on top of it, maybe involving your arms, your shoulders, your torso, your head, your neck more. And just feeling what it feels like to integrate these two things together. Layering these two movement impulses on top of one another. It's kind of jog, shifting weight, waving on top of that. And eventually making your way back to stillness, to a standing position. Find a place to simply stand, not in any particular position. Just pausing and sensing, what just happened? What just happened in your body? How is it feeling now? What information can you gather from the movement that you just did? What is percolating? What insight do you gain? How are you exploring and connecting with your bliss? Okay. Now, starting with your feet on the floor, just with your right foot, start to make little circles with your ankle in one direction. And then make circles in the other direction. And then switch sides, make circles with your left ankle, one direction. And then in the other direction. Okay, let that settle, bring your feet and legs together. And then bend your knees, create a little bounce and make circles with your knees down and up in one direction. Just little tiny baby circles. And then the other direction. That's it. And let that settle and move your feet apart again. Start to make big circles with your hips and pelvis. And tracing circular motion up around through the air in one direction. And then move in the other direction. Tracing circles through the air with your hips and pelvis. Nice. And then let that settle and come into your shoulders. And we'll start with the arms hanging, roll in one direction. Doesn't matter which direction you start. Front to back or back to front. And then switch directions as you're ready and able. Okay, now bring your fingertips to your shoulders and make circles with your elbows in one direction. And choosing the pace that works best for you in this moment. And then we'll switch directions when you're ready, able. Just tracing circles through the air with your elbows. Okay, let that settle. And we'll do one more phase of tracing circles through the air with your hands. So keeping your arms extended and making circles with your arms. Can be small, right? Or it can be bigger. Your choice. You choose the pace too. And switching directions when you're ready and able. Okay, and let that settle. Maybe even shake it out a little bit. It's a lot with the shoulders. Okay. Now, with the crown of the head, just think of tracing a line up above your head or even on the ceiling, just to coming up and around and tracing. You can feel it cascade down through your torso. Just keeping your neck lengthened, but tracing a circle, almost like you're maybe creating a halo above your head at some distance. And then you can switch directions. And if you want to drop your chin down in front a little bit more, kind of move your neck through more range of motion, make that choice for yourself if that would feel good. And again, settle back in toward center. Now, I invite you to now start to trace circles and spirals with everything. So it might be your hips. The inspiration from your hips is going to move you into spirals. So even just play around with that for a moment. If you create spirals with your hips, what does the rest of your body want to do? Like riding on top of the impulse of the spirals in your pelvis and hips, which can include one leg or can include both legs kind of connected. And now, what if your knees wanted to trace circles? What if the knees wanted to trace circles through the air, or like we were doing with both feet on the floor? What would the rest of the body want to do? Just tracing circles with your knees, allowing the rest of your body to follow as a passenger. using your space, turning around, and observing as you move through the space what you maybe even see, feel, connect with. Now, what if you took that movement impulse into tracing circles with your feet? Would it be maybe on the floor or through the air? Could even be rolling your ankles, creating little circles by rolling your ankles. And if you think of spirals with your feet and ankles, what does the rest of your body do to follow? Good. Now, coming back up into the upper body, what would spirals and circles feel like, little twisting feel like through your torso and rib cage? Right, maybe coming back to that swaying from side to side and creating a twist through your torso, or using the rib cage and a move through spirals, through circles, trying to free the rib cage even from the pelvis and from the shoulders. And whatever that means to you, I'm just using it as a movement inspiration, exploring the middle of your torso around your rib cage, exploring spirals. And then again, coming up to, we'll start with the hands. If you have movement inspiration, creating circles and spirals with your hands, how does the rest of your body want to respond to that? How might it move through the space? Might it come close to the floor? Might it reach up toward the sky? Right? What does it look like? Again, like the feet, it could be rolling the wrists, or it could be including the whole arm. And feeling this impulse carry up through your whole arm, creating circles with your elbows like we did previously, and hands and elbows. And then creating spirals and circles with your shoulders, elbows, and hands. Good. And then feeling it carry maybe up into even your head and neck. Your head and neck is leading the way through some spirals, circles. How might the rest of your body follow? It's getting really involved with the layers of movement, initiating inspiration from one body part and letting it carry through the others. And now, allowing inspiration to come from any body part, same sort of expression, metaphor, movement, inspiration of circles and spirals. And maybe it's your hand. That's the inspiration, or then your foot, and then your pelvis. Just taking a little bit of time to explore through the whole body how you can become these interlocking circles and spirals, involving your whole body. Okay. And then allow that to settle as you're ready. Just standing in some place. Standing with ease. And feeling what's coming through your body in this moment. What did that do? Did it feel any different than what you did previously? Right. Now, one more exploration for us in this kind of free form movement. So I invite you to start by stretching both arms up overhead. And then just stretch one arm up further than the other at a time, and you just kind of reach one arm up and then reach the other arm up. Expressing now what we call stretch. Thinking of reaching to faraway places, getting big, stretching through your body, stretching. And then reaching out to the side, maybe diagonally, out to the side with your arms, reaching with your arms behind you. And just reaching all the way around with your arms, stretching. And you can let your arms relax now, thinking of stretching with your legs, which might mean you move your torso over your legs, or it might mean you reach your legs out in some way, along the floor, out through the air, stretching through your legs, stretch. Stretch and reach to faraway places with your legs. Getting really big and long, like Gumby or Stretch Armstrong. You're just gonna stretch. Stretch and lengthen through your legs. And then allowing yourself to come into your torso and head. How might you stretch even this area of your body? Experience lifting up toward the ceiling, maybe side bending, stretching out toward the side. And maybe thinking of reaching forward, could even bring you into a forward bend. Reaching up and back could lead you into a back bend. Just exploring forward, back, side diagonals, stretching through your torso and head. Reaching, stretching. Okay. And now expand into stretching throughout your whole body, both arms, both legs, torso, head. Let's take a little bit more time exploring this feeling of stretch. A stretch has a certain quality to it, certain muscular tone. Right? And maybe it's a little bit more, as you reach, a little bit more muscular engagement, but a muscular engagement with lengthening. So just feeling the degree of energetic output with really stretching. How you're actually engaging your muscles as you reach. Now, as you engage your muscles to reach and stretch, now, I'd like you to now think about doing that without muscular engagement. How much could you stretch without it? What would it look like? Almost like you're weightless. Might feel more like there's an outside force kind of moving you, blowing you from direction to direction. Like an involuntary sort of stretching, moving. Woo. Like you're being blown by the wind. Whew. Still stretch, but not really generated from muscular engagement inside you. It's just like, whoa, blowing through you. Shoo. Okay. Now come back to engaging the muscles, creating the stretch from inside you. Let's feel the difference. Stretching, engaging, feeling your strength in order to create stretch. And for the last few moments of this stretch impulse, try to find the balance of the two. Like if you're stretching your arm, maybe it'll be light and then it'll reach out and engage. How might you juxtapose the two? Maybe some stretching is coming from outside forces and easier, and some of it is reaching, engaging muscles to really stretch through your body parts. Just exploring both, how you might combine them together. And this is really the essence of what we're doing on a daily basis, even in walking. Where do we need more muscular engagement? Where is it happening more freely, more naturally? Okay. And then as you're ready, allow that to settle. Coming to some sort of standing position in your space. And allowing that to land in your body. What happened? How are you feeling now? Just tracking your heartbeat, your breath, feeling of your feet on the floor, the warmth and tingling. Just taking a moment to feel what has happened, to integrate. Now, from here, grab your mats and roll them out. Or if you already have yours out, come onto your mat. And on your mat, stand close to the short edge and stand tall. And the next part of our exploration is how might we take more organized dynamic movement and static poses within yoga asana and still kind of feel the effects within our body. So standing close to the short edge of your mat, stand tall in Tadasana. We'll start with Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, lift your arms above your head, reach up. Exhale, fold down over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, step back to plank. For this first one, we'll hold plank for a couple breaths. Press down away from the floor, slide your shoulder blades down your back. Draw your belly button towards your spine. And then lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. And take a couple of breaths in downward facing dog. So every moment that we pause in a shape is an opportunity to assess what has happened before, to anticipate what's coming, and also to notice, which parts of your body are working to hold the position, and asking yourself, do they need to be working this hard? Right? How can you feel available to movement? Maybe even move your head and neck a little bit in order to not grip in that area. It's a very common place to grip in down dog. One more inhale. On your exhale, bend your knees and walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold down over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise all the way up, Urdhva Namaskarasana. Exhale, lower your arms down by your sides, stand tall, Tadasana. Again, inhale, lift your arms up over your head and reach up. And exhale, fold down over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, step back to plank. Press down away from the floor, get really stable in plank position here. And then you can either lower your knees down to your mat or keep them lifted to lower Chaturanga, all the way down to your belly, to your abdomen. Point your feet and slide your forearms forward, coming into forearm plank. Inhale here. On your exhale, curl your toes under and lift your hips up, coming into forearm plank. And lower your hips down, point your feet and broaden through your chest. And curl your toes under, lift your hips up. Lower your hips down, point your feet and broaden through your chest. Curl your toes under and lift your hips up. And then 2 more, hips down, point your feet. And curl your toes under, lift your hips up. Good. And then last time, lower hips down, point your feet. And curl your toes under, lift your hips up. Take 1 more breath here. And then finally lower your hips down, point your feet, slide your hands underneath your shoulders, and come up Bhujangasana Cobra. Lower your chest down, curl your toes under, and come up and back to down dog. And again, breathing. Nice even pace of breath. Just feeling your body in the shape and still having the sense that while you're holding it, you're still available for movement. And what can release to be available for movement? 1 more inhale. On your exhale, bend your knees and walk or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold down over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise all the way up and reach up. And exhale, lower your arms down by your sides. Stand tall. Let's do 1 more. Inhale, lift your arms up and reach up. On your exhale, fold down over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, step back, plank. So inhale, shift forward slightly. Exhale, Chaturanga, knees up or down. Either upward facing dog or cobra this time, your choice. And exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale deeply here. And exhale. Again, noticing. I always notice that my jaw, neck, and upper trapezius muscles and the upper shoulders, they want to grip here. So might move a little bit in the places that want to get stuck. Make them available to movement and just engage enough to hold the position with integrity. 1 more inhale. On your exhale, bend your knees, walk or hop forward. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold down over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise all the way up. Reach up. Exhale, lower your arms down by your sides and stand tall. So from here, bring your palms to the center of your chest. And we'll start with a little bit of a squatting exercise to get us geared up for some squatting within a sequence. So you'll bend your knees, coming into Utkatasana-like shape. Make sure that your knees are pointing directly over your toes. Just come here. Almost imagine that you could drag your feet away from one another to tone your outer hip muscles. I want to come back into this place every time as best you can. So on your inhale, you'll straighten your legs and stretch your arms down by your sides. And then on your exhale, you'll come back into the squat and bring your palms together. Inhale, stand, and exhale, squat. Inhale, stand, exhale, squat. And you do it at your own pace from here forward. Just inhale and exhale. Straightening the legs and bending the knees. Just feeling the juxtaposition, how it's warming up your ankles, how it's warming up the muscles in your legs to do this kind of yoga squat. Okay. Maybe one more. And stand tall for a moment. Good. So the next piece will be coming from a squat into a lunge, and we'll do it on repeat on both sides. So what it'll look like is a squat, stand, arms down, then swing arms up and step back into a lunge, swing arms down and step forward into a squat, and so on and so forth, lunge from side to side. So let's get going. Come to the squat, palms at the center of your chest. And then inhale, straighten your legs and arms, swing your arms up, exhale, come into a lunge, right leg back. Then inhale, step forward, exhale, squat. Inhale, stand, exhale, lunge, left leg back. Inhale, stand at the top of your mat, exhale, squat. Inhale, stand, exhale, right leg back, lunge. Inhale, step forward, exhale, squat. Then inhale, stand, exhale, left leg back, lunge. Inhale, stand to the top of your mat, exhale, squat. Inhale, stand, exhale, right leg back, lunge. And inhale, stand at the top of your mat, exhale, squat. Inhale, stand, exhale, left leg back, lunge. And inhale, stand, exhale, squat. One more time each side. Inhale, stand, exhale, right leg back, lunge. Inhale, stand, exhale, squat. Inhale, stand, exhale, left leg back, lunge. Inhale, stand, and exhale, squat. Inhale, stand tall. And we'll take a little bit more time just standing. And if you want to take your feet further apart, stand at ease, right? So just like we were doing with the free form dynamic movement, taking a few breaths to assess. How did that feel to do sun salutations and this little squatting, lunging exercise? What's moving through your body? Does it feel different than the more spontaneous, kind of self-directed movement? The organized movement feel different? It might not. Okay. So beginning again now, either keep your feet hip width distance apart for the squatting, or you'll bring your feet and legs all the way together. Surya Namaskar B. Bend your knees, reach your arms up. Utkatasana. And perhaps sit a little deeper as you keep reaching up to your fingertips. And exhale, straighten your legs and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. Then step or hop back, plank, lower down, Chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra, your choice. And to downward facing dog. We'll meet in down dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up toward the ceiling, three-legged down dog. On your exhale, place your right foot all the way between your hands. And for this first one, keep your left heel lifted. So it's the lunge like we've just been doing. Lift your torso up. So high lunge. Virabhadrasana 1 variation. Sink down into your legs. Inhale, reach up through your arms, stretch up. And exhale, place your hands down onto the floor. Step back to plank, inhale. Exhale, lower down, Chaturanga, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up toward the ceiling. Exhale, place your left foot all the way between your hands. And then on strong legs, come up into a high lunge, Virabhadrasana 1 variation. Your right heel lifted. Lift up through your fingertips, reach up. And exhale, place your hands down onto your mat. And step back to plank. Lower down, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. One more breaths. Again, settling into that familiar shape. And using the familiar shape as an opportunity to assess. Am I gripping in any areas that I don't need to be? Am I engaging enough in areas that actually support the shape? And walk your hands back to your feet, come into a standing forward bend at the back of your mat. And from a standing forward bend at the back of your mat, widen your feet about mat width distance apart. Turn your toes out slightly. Bend your knees, lower your hips down, coming into Malasana. In squatting position. If your heels are lifted up away from the floor, you can always just keep them lifted, or you can place a blanket or prop underneath your heels. Join your palms together at the center of your chest if you haven't already. Just breathing, being in this shape. Just a little stretch for your ankles, for your hips. One more breath. Good. And bring your fingertips down onto your mat. Straighten your legs. You'll toe your feet in until they're about hip width distance apart and toes pointing forward. And then crawl your hands back out to downward facing dog. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Take one more inhale. And on your exhale, bend your knees, walk or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold down over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, bend your knees and come up, Utkatasana. And then exhale, stand tall, Tadasana. Do one more like that, Surya Namaskar B. Bend your knees, reach your arms up. Squatting position. Reach up, stretch up. One more inhale. And then on your exhale, straighten your legs and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, step or hop back and lower down Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up toward the ceiling, three-legged down dog. Exhale, place your right foot up between your hands. This time, spin your left heel in and down at a 45-degree angle, like Malasana, and then come up into Warrior One. Stretch back through your left heel, bend your right knee perhaps a little deeper, reaching up. And the gaze can either be forward or up with your palms joined. It really depends on how it feels on your neck. Taking another moment in Warrior One. And then step back, lower down Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up toward the ceiling, three-legged down dog. Exhale, place your left foot up between your hands. Spin your right heel in and down at a 45-degree angle and then rise up into Warrior One. And you can either keep your gaze forward or you can look up and join your palms. Again, let how your neck feels in this determine what you do. And then bring your hands down to the floor. Step back and lower down Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing, being in this shape. Just one more breath. Last inhale. On your exhale, bend your knees, walk or hop forward. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold down over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, bend your knees, come up, Utkatasana. And exhale, stand, Tadasana. And allow yourself to assess here. It's another opportunity to simply be at ease, either standing or if you're in another position, just giving yourself a moment to pause, to feel. Feel deeply. All right. Now, for our last little project, we'll work on some standing poses facing the long edges of our mat. So if you have blocks handy and you know you'd like to use them, you can place them toward the back edge of your mat and face the other edge. And stand tall at the center of your mat and either step or hop your feet wide. And your feet should be about as wide as your wrists. We'll come into a linking of some poses. So first on deck, warrior two, turn your right toes out about 90 degrees. Bend your right knee, coming into a warrior two shape. Good. Make sure that your right knee is pointing toward your second or third toe and that your knee is approximately stacked over your ankle. Fun pressing down and back through the outer edge of your left foot. And take a couple breaths here. Again, noticing what needs to be working to hold this shape. What could you let go of? In fact, for a moment, just allow your arms to drop. What does it feel like to hold the position? Arms don't need to support the foundation of this pose. So this time, as you lift your arms up, imagine that they're just being held by a force outside of you. And can you just engage just enough around the shoulders and shoulder blades to lift your arms up? Good. Then straighten your right leg, turn your right toes forward, turn your left toes out 90 degrees, bend your left knee, coming into warrior two on the second side. Same things here. Make sure that your knees pointing directly over your toes, that your knees approximately stacked over your ankle. And you're pressing down and back through your right foot. And just take a moment to assess. How is this feeling? What is working really hard? What doesn't need to be working? So allow your arms to drop. Just feeling the shape of your legs, engagement in your legs here. Now, as you lift your arms back up, try to create just enough engagement to keep your arms lifted. Keep sliding your shoulder blades down your back, almost like they're floating, like they're resting on surfaces, or like there's a hand underneath each one of your hands holding your arms up. What would that feel like? And then straighten your left leg, turn your left toes forward. And then right away, turn your right toes out 90 degrees. Bend your right knee. Try to find that same sensation here. Floating arms, strong legs. We'll take this into a couple of different shapes. So first, keep your legs as they are and tip your torso back over your left leg, coming into reverse warrior. Kind of isolating what needs to move to bend the spine in this shape, keeping the legs strong, steady. Then inhale, come back up through warrior two and come into side angle pose and start with your right forearm on your thigh. Stretch your left arm close to your face. Either stay here or bring your right hand down to a block or to the floor. That's why the blocks are there. Okay. And then strengthen your legs, lift your torso back up, floating arms, strong yet floating arms. And then finally, straighten your right leg, turn your right toes forward and turn your left toes out about 90 degrees. Good. Bend your left knee. Warrior two, again, floating arms, same sensations here. And then keep your legs really strong. Just tip your torso, side bends toward your right, toward the back leg. Reach your left arm close to the side of your face. Good. And come back up through warrior two and side angle pose, forearm to thigh. or down to a block or the floor. Stretch your right arm close to the side of your face. Again, noticing what needs to be working, what can you let go of? Can you, as you're reaching out through the top arm, think of it coming from the bottom tip of your shoulder blade rather than the muscles at the top of your shoulders close to your ears. And then keep your legs strong as you come back up into warrior two. Straighten your left leg, turn your left toes forward. And now do either step or hop your feet back together at the center of your mat. Stand tall. Good. All righty. Now, one more movement exploration facing in this direction. Either step or hop your feet wide. And then our next shapes are with two straight legs. So we'll come from Trikonasana into Ardha Chandrasana, so half moon shape. And this time let's start on the left side. Turn your left toes out, 90 degrees. Keep both legs straight. And think of lifting, drawing from your feet all the way up into your hips. And slightly tip your torso to your left. Bring your hand either down to a block or the floor. Or you could rest your hand lightly on your left shin, but don't press. It's not good for your knee. Stretch your right arm up. Take a couple more breaths here. Again, noticing what's working hard, maybe what doesn't need to be. Notice what's happening, especially in your shoulders. Can you think of sliding your shoulder blades toward your hips, lengthening more through your neck? See if you can release some muscular tension there. And look down towards your left foot. Bend your left knee. Come forward and up into half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. So you had your hand on a block, move it with you. Lifting the back leg, come into a position very similar to triangle pose shape, just with one leg lifted. Again, notice what's happening in your shoulders. Can you slide them down your back? Create more length through your neck. If balance is happening well, you could even venture to look up. And then begin to make your way out. Slowly bend your right knee, guide your left foot down really carefully. And you'll come up through warrior two. Straighten your left leg, turn your left toes forward, and we'll go to the second side. Turn your right foot out 90 degrees. Strengthen the muscles of your legs. Move myself back a little bit. Draw from your feet all the way into your hips. And tip your torso to your right. Bring your hand down either to your block or to the floor. Or you can rest it lightly on your shin, but be careful with that. Don't want to mess with the knee. And in reaching your left arm up, think of sliding your shoulder blades down your back, creating length through your neck. So you're not using body parts to hold the shape that actually don't help. They don't help. All right, engaging the muscles of the legs, the pelvic floor, the abdominal muscles even help this pose. The arms are just kind of like an adornment. And look down towards your right foot, bend your right knee, come forward and up into half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. Again, same thing. Same thing, second side. Just breathing steadily and evenly in this shape. Sliding your shoulder blades down your back. One more breath. And then to come out, slowly bend your left knee, slowly guide your right foot down. We'll come up through warrior two. Good. Straighten your right leg, turn your right toes forward, and step or hop your feet back together, or close together. Okay. Standing tall. And maybe rearranging so that you're in a comfortable position. Just taking one more moment to let the movement land in your body. What just happened? How's it feeling? Tracking, noticing what feels active, what feels warm. Maybe there's tingling. Right. Now, come down through a couple of stretches and then into some relaxation. So the first exploration here is pigeon prep. We did this in class last week too, and it felt so nice. So we're gonna do it again. So from downward facing dog, come into downward facing dog. And then bring your right shin up to your wrists. Right knee close to your right wrist and your right foot close to your left hip. Now, if you could use some support underneath your right hip to keep your hips level to the floor, place a block or a blanket underneath your right hip. And then once set up well, fold down over your right shin and breathe. Several breaths. Feeling the closeness with the earth, with the floor. How gravity is holding you close to the floor. And how being this close to the floor means that you have support. That you don't have to effort, that you don't have to work so hard. So what can you let go of? Just breathing. Allowing the floor to support you. Couple more breaths on this side for this first phase of this side, I should say. And walk your hands back in toward your shin, lift up. Option one is to fold down again here, or to add a quad stretch by reaching back, clasping. So you bend your left knee, reach back with your left hand and clasp and hug in. Your right hand can be placed on the mat in front of you or on your right thigh, up to you. Couple more breaths. And then slowly release the clasp on your left foot. Place your hands in front of you. If you're folded over your right shin, lift your torso up and then come through down dog and stretch that out. Just breathing. And bring your left shin up to your wrists. Left knee close to your left wrist. Left heel close to the front of your right hip. Pigeon prep, second side. Again, if some support underneath your left hip in the form of a blanket or block would be helpful, grab the prop and use it. One set up well, hold down over your left shin and take several breaths here. Allowing the floor to support you, to hold you. Seeing if there are any places in your body that you can let go a little bit more. Couple more breaths here. And guide yourself, your torso up. And same options here. You can fold back down in again, or you can bend your right knee, reach back, clasp your foot, and come into a quad stretch in this shape. Might mean that your hips lift up away from the floor a little bit, like mine. Just breathing. You're in the quad stretch, release the clasp on your right foot. If you're folding down over your shin, lift your torso up and come to downward facing dog. And breathe. Take one more inhale. On your exhale, bend your knees, walk or hop forward and through to sit down. Hop forward, sit down. And then we'll come into a supported bridge pose and then some rest. So lie down on your back. Have one block handy. And press down through your feet and lift your hips up. Slide the block underneath your pelvis. You choose the level. Could be the lowest level, medium, like you see me here doing. And then if you want a deeper back bend, you could bring it high. So I invite you to at least start with the support underneath your pelvis. You can stay here the whole time. Or if after a couple breaths, you want to come into an active back bend, like bridge pose, pose that we're doing, but active, or Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow with hands and feet on the floor, you can do that. So if you do want to do an active back bend, now would be a good time. So we'll hold for a few more breaths. And if you're still in either a supported or active back bend, begin to make your way out. Lower your hips all the way down to your mat. And think of extending one limb at a time. So we'll start with the legs. Extend your right leg out. Lower it down and relax it. Extend your left leg out. Stretch and relax. And then one arm at a time, reach out, tuck your shoulder blade deeper underneath, stretch your arm wherever you'd like it, and then relax it. Reach the other arm out, your left arm out, tuck your shoulder blade deeper underneath your back, lay it where you would like it, and then relax it. And maybe even make some more adjustments through your spine, lengthen up through your head, through your pelvis, try to find some more length, and then relax your torso. So stretching to spread, placing mindfully, and then resting. Do give yourself permission to make any more adjustments needed if you'd like. And we'll take a bit of time to relax here. And as you relax, Open up to the sound of harmonium and voice. Resting here. Spend some time getting acquainted with the body in rest. I invite you to perhaps think of an intention for this period of relaxation. It might be an intention to move with more ease throughout the rest of your day. Might mean that you have an intention to reach out to someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Just anything. Carrying this intention with you as you move through your practice. I invite you to identify one thing that could be a resource. I'll give a couple examples. So the resource is a really stable, safe space to return to. Might be the feeling of the floor beneath you holding you, the feeling of your back or some part of your body touching the surface. You might think of a place that you really like to visit. Or you might think of a person or a pet. Going through the different areas of the body in a little bit of a body scan. So if there's any place that you get to that feels like you kind of want to skip over it, or if you want to go to this resource place or thing, just know that that's always an option. To get started with moving through the body, start by noticing the hinges of your jaw, and joints on each side as sensation. Noticing the inside of your mouth, all the way from your lips to your throat, the full inside of your mouth, feeling your tongue as it moves from your mouth down deep into your throat and relaxing it. Feeling both ears. From the deepest part, your inner ear, all the way out to the outer ear. Opening up to sensation in your ears. Feel the space behind your cheekbones and nose, the space in your nostrils, feeling your sinus passages, opening up to sensation arising there. Feeling the space deep behind your eyes. Maybe almost thinking of this space as a soft pillow that your eyes can rest in. Softening the space around your eyes and allowing your eyes to rest down like into a soft pillow. I invite you to bring your awareness into your forehead, all the way from your hairline down to your eyebrows, the space between your eyebrows. Just think of smoothing this area out like a soft blanket. Draw your awareness into the crown of your head, the back of your head, and the space between your head and the top of your neck. Think of creating space in that area, almost as though the head and neck are floating a little bit apart from one another. I invite you to bring awareness into your neck, into your shoulders, upper arms, lower arms, hands and fingers. Drawing your attention back up to your torso. Feeling the front side of your torso all the way from collarbones to your pubic bones and top of your pelvis. Feel the front side. Opening up to sensation on the back side of your body, all the way from your shoulder blades down to your sacrum and top of your pelvis. Also feeling the sides of your torso, both sides, from your armpits all the way down the sides of your rib cage and the top of your pelvis. And now feeling the full circumference of your torso. Front, back, and sides. Draw your awareness into your pelvic region and hips. Moving down through your upper legs, lower legs, feet and toes. Drawing your awareness from your toes all the way up through your legs, pelvis, torso, arms and hands, neck, head, and face. Feeling the field of sensation expand to include your whole body. And in feeling sensations in your body, invite in one thing that you're either grateful for or brings you joy. What is one thing that brings you joy in this moment? It might be something that happened earlier today. It might be a really beautiful plant or flower. Just thinking of one thing, holding it close, feeling that sensation expand through the field of your whole body, allowing joy to spread. And then keeping with this sensation, with these sensations. You'll hear my voice and harmonium now.
Slowly begin to feel awareness come back into your body. Feel it come back to the surface. And if it would be helpful to introduce some movement here, you may. Taking your time, and in whatever manner makes the most sense, make your way back up to a comfortable seated position. And once there, join your palms together at the center of your chest in Anjali Mudra. We'll end really simply with a blessing. It's Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, and it's an acknowledgement of our interconnection and an offering of peace. You can simply listen to me chant, or you can join in with me. Inhale deeply to prepare. Exhale, empty out completely. And inhale for the chant. So may you have peace and bliss today and every day, and every moment that you can. May you continue to intend to connect with the things that bring you joy, that bring you bliss. Thank you for the gift of your company in bringing me some joy today. Thank you.